Hello everyone, Alicia here with another Lightened Up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today's recipe is going to be for a festive Christmas bread. This is a recipe that I saw online that I want to try out, and I'm going to be lightening it up, making changes to it to make it more Weight Watcher friendly, lower calorie, all that good stuff. But it looked really good. It looks nice and festive. I think it'd be perfect for this time of year, Christmas time. So I wanted to make this, see how it turns out, and I figured I would take you guys with me. As always, I will have a link to the original recipe that I'm going to be altering down below in the description box, so you can check that out if you want to see the original. But let's jump into this and see what you're going to need to make it. First off, you're going to need 1 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. And then next up, you're gonna need a 1/2 cup of fat-free Greek yogurt, and that is gonna be for the bread itself. And then you're also gonna need an additional 2 tablespoons for the icing that I'm gonna be doing on this. Next up, you're gonna need a 1/2 cup of no sugar added applesauce. I like these little cups. I show them all the time because they're just real easy. They're usually the exact amount that I need in a recipe, or very close, and then I don't have to open up an entire jar of applesauce. But you do want the no sugar added, not the regular. Here I've got 3 large eggs, and in this container I've got a 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of light butter spread. I'm using Brummel & Brown, that's my favorite, but you could use whatever type you'd like. Next up, you're gonna need a teaspoon baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. Here I've got some unsweetened vanilla almond milk. You're gonna need a 1/4 cup of that. You could also use a fat-free milk if you want. For sweetener today, I'm gonna be using the Lightened Classic. I'm gonna be using 3/4 cup of this for the bread. But whatever type of no-calorie sweetener you prefer, you can use. I'm gonna be using a teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon, and here I've got some almond extract. I'm gonna be using 2.5 teaspoons of this in the bread and then a teaspoon in the icing. The recipe that I'm adapting uses vanilla for both the cake and the icing, but I just thought almond would be really good in this. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, but I did wanna mention you could also use vanilla. You don't wanna use almond extract. Here I've got 3.5 ounces of Christmas sprinkles. I'm gonna be using 3 roughly for the bread, and then another 1/2 ounce or around a tablespoon probably for the topping. I'm gonna just use most of them basically in the bread and reserve a little bit for topping. But that is 3.5 ounces total, or it's just over a 1/2 cup. So for the icing in this, I mentioned that it's gonna have almond extract, a teaspoon of that. I'm also gonna be using 4 tablespoons of a light cream cheese. I'm using the Philadelphia, 1/3 less fat today. Now here for the frosting, I've got some Lightened powdered sugar. You're gonna need a 1/2 cup of this. Now this stuff here, I actually made myself out of the Classic. One of my viewers suggested I try that because I don't like the Lightened powder that you buy already, you know, pre-made. So I made my own. This is what it looks like. It looks just like the stuff you buy. So we're gonna give that a try, see if it tastes any different when you grind this up. I don't know that it will, but we're gonna give it a try. So thank you to that viewer that gave me that tip. We'll see if that tastes any better. I always mention how much I love the Lightened Classic in the golden and how much I don't care for the powdered version of it. And that goes for any of the sugar substitutes. I just really do not care for the powdered sugar substitutes. They have a lot of aftertaste to me. And so I typically will just use classic or regular confectioner sugar and then just have the extra points. But anyway, we're gonna give this a try, the homemade stuff, and see how that turns out. And then lastly, what you're gonna need is some cooking spray, or I'm gonna be using Baker's Joy for my loaf pan. And that is everything that you're gonna need to make this, so let me get us started. First up, in a medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna add in my 1 3/4 cup flour, teaspoon baking powder, teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon cinnamon. I'm gonna just mix all of those together really well. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm gonna set that aside and get out my mixer. So in my mixer, I'm gonna add in my 3/4 cup Lightened and my 1/4 cup butter spread. And I'm gonna just cream the two of those together. So I'm gonna mix it for about a minute or so on medium speed. Got that creamed together well, so now I'm gonna add in my eggs. Almond milk. 1/2 cup unsweetened applesauce. 1/2 cup fat-free Greek yogurt. And 2.5 teaspoons of almond extract. And then I'm gonna mix all of that together really well. Got that mixed together well. Now I'm going to pour in my dry ingredients and just slowly mix those in until I'm no longer seeing any more of the dry. That is looking good. So now I'm gonna take my bowl off and I'm gonna pour in most of my sprinkles, again, reserving maybe a tablespoon or 2 for the top. Probably closer to 2, to be honest. And then I'm gonna just fold those in. And you don't wanna mix these in with your mixer because that's gonna break those up. And you wanna keep these kind of as whole as you can. All right, now I'm gonna grab my loaf pan. I've got a loaf pan here. This is just a 4.5 by 8.5, fairly standard size. So now I'm gonna take my baker's joy here and give it a good spray. And pour my batter in. And I've had my oven preheating to 350 while I've been doing all this. Just kind of spread that out in there a little bit. And now this is ready to bake in my preheated oven at 350. It says for 60 to 70 minutes or until a toothpick in the center comes out clean and the top is just golden. So I'm gonna start checking this because again, everybody's oven is different. I'm gonna start checking this probably around the 50-55 minute point because I don't want to overcook it, but I will be back once this is done. All right, I let this bake for 60 minutes and it is done. I inserted a toothpick in and it came out clean. As you can see back here, it definitely got over browned. I ended up tinting this with some aluminum foil about the last 10 minutes of baking. I probably should have done it sooner to prevent that over browning, but did want to point that out. This mine browned really quickly, so you probably want to tint it probably around the 45-minute mark, maybe a little sooner. But anyway, I'm gonna let this cool for about 5-10 minutes in here, and then I'm gonna remove it from the pan and place it on a cooling rack to cool completely. So for the icing on this, I'm going to be using my mixer again, and I'm gonna add in to my mixer my 1/4 cup light cream cheese, and you want this room temperature so it's nice and soft and it's gonna blend together well. Next up, I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of that Greek yogurt, 1/2 cup of the Lightened powdered, and a teaspoon almond extract. And again, you can use vanilla if you wish. Now I'm gonna use my whisk attachment, and I'm gonna just mix this until it is nice and creamy. Okay, that is looking good. I did have to knock it down, the ingredients in there a couple times in the bowl, but it is all creamed together, looking good. So now we'll go ahead and frost the bread. I have let this bread cool completely on my cooling rack here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it off and put it on a cutting board. And now I'm gonna ice it. And if you don't wanna do this step, you don't have to. You could make this a little lighter without the frosting, but I think it's gonna pair really nicely with this. So I definitely wanted to add it to mine. Plus it's gonna make it look pretty too. And I gotta cover up my over browned area back there with my frosting. Okay, I've got that. frosted. So now I'm going to take my remaining sprinkles here, and I'm going to just sprinkle those on the top. And that is how we're looking. I think it's really pretty. I love that, the colors, Christmas colors of this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut into this so you can see what it looks like inside, and then also let you know what a serving size is and the points on this. So here is a serving size of that real quick. I've got the servings set at 12, so that's roughly a 1/12 of the total loaf, and that is going to be 5 points. So we'll go ahead and taste it and see what it tastes like. It smells really good. Go ahead and give that a taste. First of all,
little taste drive.
It smells really good. I think I might have overcooked it a little bit, to be honest. I did do 60 minutes. Probably could have gone maybe 5 minutes left. I can't talk. Probably could have gone 5 minutes less. Can I see your fork? I'm just gonna bite off of this one here. Or that one. A little bit of the frosting.
So the frosting and the sprinkles.
Sorry, I took your fork.
Tastes really good together. And that vanilla extract is a nice...
It's almond, not vanilla.
Yeah, I meant almond.
Ooh, yummy. That's good. I wasn't so sure.
No, in order to taste the cake, of course, you have to do it without the frosting.
Well, yeah. Let me grab a little piece of that just by itself. Because the frosting it's got a pretty powerful flavor, I would say, don't you?
Yeah. As frosting is wont. And that cake's not overcooked.
No.
That's really nice.
So 60 minutes was good in our oven anyway. Yeah, no, I don't think it is either. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of tastes like sugar cookie in a bread form.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Or a cake form. It was originally called, the original recipe is called funfetti cake. Funfetti Christmas cake. I don't think it really tastes like a funfetti cake. Well, maybe a little bit. I think it tastes more like a sugar cookie.
If you didn't have the sprinkles on top, it wouldn't taste like a funfetti cake.
It wouldn't? It looks like a funfetti cake. That much I will say. But I'm calling it festive Christmas bread because I don't think it
Yeah, for sure.
tastes like funfetti cake. I think it tastes like, well, like I said,
that's really good.
sugar cookie in a cake or bread form. That's really good.
Yeah.
So you think 5 points for a 12?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I think that's worth it. It's very, very satisfying.
It is. That's good. I think that'd be kiddo friendly too. I think because it's festive, Christmassy looking. Definitely, I think this would be good with kids too.
Really sweet.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys. Well, that was festive Christmas bread. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.